is a public library like in a second-tier Chinese city? How much does it cost to borrow a book? Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I live in a second-tier city in northern China. This morning, I'm taking my son to the library. We'll return the books we borrowed last time and choose a few new ones. Come along with us. First, we're riding my electric tricycle to the subway station. I use it quite often. About 22 cents of electricity can take me roughly 15.5 miles. It costs very little to run, which is why vehicles like this are so common in my city. This subway station connects two metro lines. It has two underground levels. Besides the escalators, there are also elevators. They make the station easier to use for older people, passengers with limited mobility, and anyone carrying heavy luggage. There's also a small breakfast stand inside the station. My son says he's hungry, so we stop to get something to eat. I buy him a ham and cheese sandwich for about $1.47. I also get him a bottle of 80 calcium milk for about 60 cents. It's a sweet milk-based drink. It tastes a little like drinkable yogurt in the United States, but it isn't exactly the same. Our simple breakfast costs about $2.07. Does that sound reasonable to you? After breakfast, we take Metro Line 5 to the library. It's a weekend morning, so the train isn't crowded. We easily find seats. During the weekday rush hour, however, this carriage would usually be packed with commuters. On the train, my son meets another child. The boy shares his toy with him and they quickly start playing together. By the way, do you know what kind of animal is inside this cage? After 13 stops, we finally arrive. Children under 4 feet 3 inches tall can ride the subway for free here. So I'm the only one who needs a ticket. The fare is about 45 cents. After leaving the station, we still have about 0.6 miles to walk. The weather isn't too hot today, so we decide to walk. It also saves us the cost of taking a taxi. We see someone selling ice cream by the roadside. We buy some for about 89 cents. A cold ice cream feels especially refreshing on a summer day. This old street has been here for several decades. The trees on both sides have grown tall and thick. I really enjoy walking along shaded streets like this. This man is painting on a traditional hand fan. Can you tell what he's painting? We've finally reached the library. The first thing we need to do is return our books. If you've never borrowed books here before, you need to show your ID and pay a deposit of about $14.88 to get a library card. Once you have the card, you can borrow books. As long as you return them on time and don't damage them, borrowing is completely free. Both borrowing and returning books can be done at these self-service machines. No staff assistance is needed. First, I return the books we borrowed last time. Then we go to choose some new ones. The first floor is mainly a reading area for preschool children. Most of the books here are picture books. Some children read by themselves while others listen as their parents read to them. There are also tables and chairs for reading and studying. But because there are so many young children here, it isn't especially quiet. So we decide to look at the adult books on the second floor. The library also provides free warm drinking water. You can drink it immediately after filling your cup. That's a very thoughtful service. Today I choose 3 books. The first is the 3-character classic for my son. It's one of China's best-known traditional books for young children. Each line is made up of 3 Chinese characters, so it has a simple and memorable rhythm. Children can use it to learn Chinese characters, traditional knowledge, and basic lessons about how to behave. The second book is The Family Teachings of Zeng Guofan. It's mainly a collection of letters he wrote to his sons and younger brothers. The book isn't about teaching his family how to become wealthy or powerful. It teaches them how to behave, how to study, and how to live responsibly. I plan to tell my son some of these lessons as stories. The final book is a work of literature for myself. If parents want their children to develop a reading habit, we should set an example ourselves. No matter how old we are, we should keep reading and learning. Now that we have our books, it's time to head back to the subway station. But my son is tired and doesn't want to walk again, so I take him there on a shared bicycle. The first 15 minutes cost about 30 cents. After that, the fare continues to increase. Does that seem cheap to you? We ride slowly along this tree-lined street. The tall London plane trees on both sides meet above the road, creating a long green tunnel. Sunlight passes through the leaves, leaving moving patches of light across the pavement. My son sits behind me. His hands hold the safety bar while his legs swing gently back and forth. A breeze moves through the leaves and makes the summer heat feel less intense. There are people everywhere along Healthy Road. The street is already beginning to carry the sights and smells of the evening market. I slow down and ride toward the station without rushing. My son rests his face against my back and asks, "Dad, which book will we read first when we get home?" I tell him, "We'll read a few passages from the three-character classic first. Then I'll tell you the story of how Zeng Guofan studied. He wasn't considered especially clever when he was young. He had to take the first level of the imperial examination 7 times before he passed. But he kept studying, worked steadily, and learned to reflect on his mistakes. That's how he slowly achieved something with his life." My son thinks for a moment and asks, "So even if someone isn't very smart, can they still become successful if they keep working hard?" I answer, "That's right. Reading isn't only about recognizing words or memorizing lessons. It also teaches us how to become thoughtful and dependable people." The wheels roll slowly over the moving shadows as we continue toward the station. In the middle of a busy city, this quiet time with my son makes me feel peaceful. I don't expect him to become exceptionally successful or important when he grows up. I only hope the simple lessons inside these books will slowly influence him. I hope they help him become kind, hardworking, and serious about living a good life. We take the subway home. As we leave the station, I notice a small reading corner inside. It isn't very large, but it brings a little sense of books and learning into this busy subway station. It has been raining for several days, but today the sky is finally clear. After we get home around noon, I go downstairs to air out our quilt in the sun. Then I notice someone has emptied the soil from a flower pot and spread it out in the sunlight. Do you know why they're doing this? quilt is outside, I start preparing lunch. Today I'm making my son a simple plate of egg fried rice. It's only an ordinary meal, but we went out together, borrowed books together, and came home to eat together. For me, being there as my son grows up is its own kind of happiness. After lunch, I still have one more thing to do, feed our parrot, Little Blue. My son and I found him while we were taking a walk near our apartment building. One of his wings was injured, and it was clear that someone had abandoned him. My son said, "Dad, can we take him home?" I said, "Of course." After I carefully looked after him, he finally recovered. His feathers are almost entirely blue, so my son and I named him Little Blue. That's all for today. See you in the next video.